of fatigue is fouls. You don't move your feet quite as well. You're a little bit slow getting to loose balls. Right now, Detroit has 4 players already with 2 fouls each on them.
Bulls 26, Pistons 17. McGuire working off a double team stop by Purdue. Armstrong for Hodges. Yes. Greg Hodges has caught fire during the playoffs, in particular from three-point range.
But it all started really with poor shot selection by Mark McGuire. That time in the middle of a double and almost triple team. The ball should have come out of there, swing it to the weak side.
Vinnie Johnson. So Vinnie off the bench to hit 2 out of 3. Chicago 28 and Detroit 19. 3.5 gone by in the second. Hodges and Armstrong now work the backcourt. Livingston up front with Grant Purdue. Sally got entangled with Grant. Edwards backing Purdue. And Grant gets to it. Oh, what a pass. Livingston from Armstrong. And Cliff Livingston, who has been quiet most of the season, making a major contribution here in the first half.
Livingston is so comfortable running the middle of the floor in transition. He did it for years in Atlanta. He likes to get down that low post area. He feels good down low offensively.
Vinnie Johnson with his 3rd field goal. The Bulls lead it by 9. Grant try to establish position on Sally. Purdue working outside now. Armstrong feeding Grant. Armstrong able to get it back and hit by Sally.
3 fouls on John Sally, and that's a big factor. Sally has had an outstanding playoff series. His defense has always been consistent for the Pistons, but offensively, he's really stepped up in the playoffs.
Scottie Pippen has returned, and Horace Grant heard it from the crowd. John Sally is sitting down, and Chuck Daly has to go now deep into his bench for William Bedford, who has not been seeing much action during the playoffs. He did get some work as a starter, what with all the injuries suffered by the Pistons. William Bedford, in his 4th year out of Memphis State, has checked in. And now Livingston. Here's the applause. Cliff Livingston with a big job off the boards and hit 2 out of 3 from the field. And Scott Williams, the rookie free agent out of North Carolina, has checked in. So Phil Jackson going deep into his bench.
And Jackson giving everybody a little taste of the action here in the first half of what is going to be a very important, obviously a big playoff series for them, getting everybody a little comfortable with what it's all about out there.
Johnson got the step, and Williams on the rebound. Pippen, last touched by Williams. Scott Williams signed as a free agent. He's the only rookie on the Bulls roster. Timeout has been taken. 6:49 remaining in the first half. Seeking a 3rd straight NBA crown, looking to become the 3rd team to do it, to join the Lakers and the Celtics. And we talked about the Pistons' quest with Isaiah.
Well, it would be a hell of an accomplishment. You know, when I first came into the league, I only wanted to win 1 championship. But to get everything out of yourself, to get everything out of your body, out of your skills, you know, it's physically and mentally draining. I think to win a 3rd championship, it's probably going to cost me some health.
Yes, Isaiah banged up, wrist, hamstring, ankle. He's been quiet thus far today. Took only 1 shot, did not hit it. 2 assists, 2 turnovers. Isaiah Thomas sitting down as Joe Dumars has returned. Pushing foul against the Bulls. It's on Purdue.
Well, down low inside, when the respect factor comes into play, Will Perdue is just not going to get the whistle against James Edwards, who has been around for so long, been an established player, doing it for years and years at the offensive end.
Michael Jordan has returned. He's guarding the spinning Vinnie Johnson. Johnson and Dumars in the backcourt. Edwards, Bedford, and Aguirre up front. And Vinnie Johnson has 8 points. The Bulls 31 and the Pistons 23.
Nice move by James Edwards, just stepping out and giving Vinnie a little screen to operate, just knocking Jordan free for a second.
Bulls have Jordan and Armstrong in the backcourt. Scott Williams with the ball up front with Perdue and Pippen. Shot clock at 5. Here's Pippen. And he's able to follow, so the Bulls lead by 10. Scottie Pippen with his first field goal. Well, the bench has certainly done the job, led by Aguirre and Johnson. And that has been the storyline for Detroit over the years. Vinnie Johnson again. He's on fire. He's hit 5 out of 7.
And that's where the Pistons are so smart. They saw that B.J. Armstrong was matched up against Vinnie. They got it right to him.
Scott Williams getting excellent position, and then he drew the foul. It's called on Bedford.
If you're going to continue to let teams catch the ball right in front of the rim, then obviously they're going to either shoot very high from the floor or they're going to get their share of free throws at the foul line. You just can't let people establish position in the lane that way.
Scott Williams to the line only 28 times during the regular season. 20 for 28, 71%. He played only 51 games for the most part in a mop-up role. Only 337 minutes. Phil Jackson, though, feels that down the line, Scott Williams will play a major role for the Chicago Bulls.
This has to be a tremendous boost for his confidence to get put into the first game of this series, the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pistons. It makes him want to work just a little bit harder, and then there's some reward there.
Edwards rejected by Williams. Here's Pippen. Will Perdue on the follow, and the Bulls have a 10-point lead. And Chuck Daly will insert Scott Hastings in just a moment. John Sally on the bench with 3 fouls. Here's Aguirre. Mark Aguirre has hit 5 out of 8. He has 11. Bulls by 8.
Well, right now, what Chuck Daly is trying to do is get some beef, get some strength back out on the floor. The team out there now is not a real good rebounding team for the Pistons, and obviously the Bulls are taking advantage of it.
Jordan. And the loose ball foul being called by Jess Kersey. It's on Williams.
Scott Williams is so pumped up that he sees his teammate needs a little help, decides to rotate over, get a piece of it to start the fast break for the Bulls.
And Scott Williams, will Perdue hear it from the Chicago crowd as they sit down. Bill Cartwright and Horace Grant return. John Paxson is back, so Phil Jackson now has his starting unit on the floor, while Chuck Daly going with the combination of Dumars and Johnson. In the backcourt, Lane Beer has returned. He's up front now with Rodman and Hastings. Vinnie Johnson. Bill Lane Beer on the putback. Lane Beer rejected by Pippen. Johnson, yes.
And just when it seems like Chicago is controlling the glass, Chuck Daly makes a couple substitutions. They get a couple shots back at the rim, eventually a score.
Bulls with a 6-point lead. Jordan hit from behind by Dumars.
I think Chuck Daly got the feel that Michael Jordan came out early in this game, was going to establish himself. So what they've done now is when Jordan touches the ball, they run the next defensive player at him right away, get the ball out of his hands, make someone else do it for the Bulls.
Michael Jordan, 2 out of 3 from the line. The Bulls 7 for 13 from the line. The next time the Pistons go to the foul line will be their first.
Well, I'm sure Chuck Daly would say a word about that.
Well, tomorrow there will be a news conference here in Chicago tomorrow afternoon at 2, and it is expected that Michael Jordan will be named the NBA's most valuable player. It would be his second MVP.